country.
So how does today make you feel, Kasha?
To make me feel good that at least the truth prevail, we have recognition.
The official launch of our National Implementation Strategic Policy Document on the African Continental Free Trade Era, or AFTA, marks our collective commitment to a vision, one that sees Africa not as a collection of isolated markets, but as a single dynamic economic bloc with vast potential. The African Continental Free Trade AFTA is one of the most ambitious integration efforts in the world, and we are honored to be a part of this transformative journey. This implementation strategic document lays the foundation for how our country will engage with the AFTA framework. It reflects our national priorities, our economic aspiration, and our unwavering belief that trade, when inclusive and well managed, can be a powerful engine for development, innovation, and job opportunities. We must strengthen our productive sectors, invest in infrastructure, support our SMEs, and build the capacity of our workforce. This document provides a roadmap for doing just that. Let this launch serve not as an end, but as a new beginning, to a call to action for all stakeholders to come together, align with strategies, and unlock the immense potential that lies within our continent. Together we can build an Africa that trade more with itself, grow faster, and prosper more inclusively. The Ministry of Commerce today has come to say to you all, we believe that SMEs are our pillars, our backbones, and we strongly believe without you, we will not be able to implement exactly what we want. So we always believe that there's a need to strengthen the private sector. And there is not a strong government without the private sector. To our SMEs, we want to say to you that we depend on you as you depend on us.
For Liberia, the African Continental Free Trade Area is more than a treaty. It is a chance to redefine our economic future. We know the challenges. For decades, our economy has relied heavily on a few primary commodities. For example, iron ore, rubber, timber, gold, etc. While these have sustained us, but they have left us also vulnerable to external shocks. We have an opportunity to diversify. This means we can boost intra-African trade, giving our producers access to new markets across the continent. We can empower small and medium-sized enterprises, the true backbone of our economy, by breaking down trade barriers and harmonizing standards. We can create new value chains where Liberian products are not just exported, but processed, packaged, and blended for the African market and beyond. In addition to the opportunity that AFTA provides, it is important to be specific about the strategy launch and what it brings in terms of benefits to Liberia. The Liberia AFTA National Implementation Strategy must be our roadmap for making this opportunity real. It must address infrastructure gaps, policy reforms, institutional strengthening, and the capacity building we so much need. Specifically, it must lay premium on key transformation drivers, such as trade facilitation, ensuring that goods can move efficiently across our borders.
The House of Representatives extends its appreciation to the citizens of Nema County Electoral District Number 5 for conducting themselves in a peaceful and non-violent manner to a just ended by-election. The House further congratulates Mr. Koto Kwankru, who has officially been declared winner by the National Elections Commission (NEC). Meanwhile, the House commends the Elections Commission for the smooth and transparent conduct of the electoral process in the county, which reflects the continual growth of Liberia's democratic culture. The House of Representatives reaffirms its commitment to upholding and promoting and the House of Representatives extends its appreciation to the citizens of Nema County Electoral District Number 5 for conducting themselves in a peaceful and non-violent manner to a just ended by-election. The House further congratulates Mr. Koto Kwankru, who has officially been declared winner by the National Elections Commission (NEC). Meanwhile, the House commends the Elections Commission for the smooth and transparent conduct of the electoral process in the county, which reflects the continual growth of Liberia's democratic culture. The House of Representatives reaffirms its commitment to upholding and promoting an open, inclusive, and credible democratic process that ensures that the will of the people is respected.
Critically, as a former ruling party and a key stakeholder in Liberia's collective well-being. Over the last 1 year, the CDC has engaged in negotiations with the owners of the property housing its national headquarters. The location the CDC has occupied and invested in for more than 2 decades, for more than 20 years, to secure its budget. These discussions culminated in a right of first refusal offered to the CDC in 2024, which the party duly accepted. However, when the CDC sought to conduct standard due diligence inquiries regarding the property, the landlord reacted with hostility, abruptly initiating an illegal evasion attempt through the civil law court at the Temple of Justice in 2024. The CDC, being duly cognizant of its rights under the law, challenged this illegal action by filing a bill of information with the Supreme Court of the Republic of Liberia, which in May 2025 ruled in favor of the CDC, affirming its legal tenancy under the Intertestate Estate of Martha Stobovy Benard, represented by Mr. Ibrahim Van Dempster. Following this ruling in favor of the CDC by the Supreme Court of Liberia, the CDC formally notified the estate of Martha Stobovy Benard of its readiness to exercise its right of first refusal, as previously offered and accepted. Instead of proceeding with the lawful sale of the property housing the CDC headquarters, the estate acted in bad faith, issuing a 1-week eviction notice to the CDC on June 2, 2025, demanding the CDC to vacate its headquarters of 20 years. This action violated the binding agreement of offer and acceptance between the two parties. In response, the CDC filed a suit for specific performance at the Civil Law Court, Temple of Justice, seeking judicial enforcement of the sale contract. Shockingly, presiding Judge W. Smith dismissed the CDC case for specific performance without hearing its mandate. Shockingly, the presiding Judge W. Smith dismissed the CDC case without hearing its mandate for further violating Section 11.2D of Liberia's Civil Procedure Law. The same court and the same judge entertained a suit.
Meanwhile, Cole stressed that the CDC did not abandon its headquarters, insisting instead that the Unity Party had done so during its time in power. He said arrangements were made to sustain the property through agreements with its owner, but those offers were rejected, something he believes was triggered by political interference from senior Unity Party officials.
Begging to buy its headquarters. The Unity Party was not begging to pay rent for its headquarters. The Unity Party were not able to keep their headquarters. They refused to keep it. In the case of the CDC, we are begging this landlord. I traveled to Ghana to meet with him. We negotiated, we sent emissaries, and we reached an agreement before a letter was written, granting us the right of first refusal. So we are not a Unity Party. The Unity Party is an irresponsible party that governed the country for 12 years, and we are maintaining headquarters. The CDC has been at its headquarters for 20 years. That demonstrates the political stability of the CDC, the maturity of the CDC. Even when we were in power, says yes, we didn't abuse judicial power, we didn't use judicial overreach to take advantage of the owner of this property, because we believe in the rule of law. And we call on the Unity Party government to stay clear, because you have a country to govern. And as a former ruling party, we know how difficult it is to already govern the country. Do not invite undue chaos.
Janga Augustus Cole is the national chairman of the CDC. The Financial Intelligence Agency of Liberia has disclosed that the agency is intensifying its fight against illicit financial flows, with a focus on the corruption, drug proceeds, and terrorist financing. FIA officer in charge Mohammed Nasser said the agency's work is to follow the money, tracking funds from illegal sources such as corruption, human trafficking, and tax evasion. Nasser disclosed that the agency recently fined 50 casinos $6 million Liberian dollars and Colony Casino $10 million United States dollars for failing to meet anti-money laundering compliance standards. Mobile money operators have also faced penalties, Mohammed Nasser stated.
So, Liberia, we have to focus more on corruption. We need to focus more on the issue of drugs. And that's why we, from the FIA, we collect a lot of intelligence, sometimes on people who involved with drugs, and sometimes people who's been arrested from drugs, so that we begin to follow the source of their income. Where did they get the money from? Who transferred the money to them? Where are they getting the drugs from? You know, the good thing about the FIA is connected to other countries around the world. So if we get your name as John Brown, who have been involved with drugs, bringing drugs into the country, we then go into our system and then we try to do a background check on you. On the basis of that, we can even inform our other countries, our counterpart in other countries, to be able to take some action against you. So we go beyond that level. But our job is basically intelligent, and we are at the back to gather all the necessary information. I mean, a lot of cases, and those cases are not really going through as we expect to go through. So we also, from the FI standpoint, we love to have feedback. We want to have feedback to know what was disseminated to the LACC or to the LRA or whatever entity that disseminated the information. What's the feedback from them? What was the action taken? The FIA want to know, because we have to be able to capture that to inform our counterpart, which is JABA, that these are actions that Liberia have been taking. It put us on the right roadmap so that people understand that we are fighting corruptions, we are fighting money laundering, we are fighting terrorist financing based upon the action the government entities have taken to enforce some of the things that we normally disseminate. And I think that's critical for all of us. Yeah. But the entity that's in violation, we normally take the action. The last time we took an action against City Trust, we took an action against a couple of other casinos in town here. As I said, I just raised issue on Origin Lone Stars, where we took some action against both of them. And
meanwhile, the FIA boss has revealed that a high-level delegation from the regional anti-money laundering body, GIABA, is in Liberia. The delegation's visit, according to Nasser, is to review progress on recommendations from a 2023 evaluation report ahead of a major November conference to be hosted in Monrovia. Nasser stressed that illicit financial flows drain public revenue and vowed that the FIA would not relent in tracking illegal funds and pushing institutions into full compliance with the law.
Is the intergovernmental Illegal Money Laundering. They are here from Senegal, the high-level team headed by Edwin Harris. Edwin Harris was the former DG for the FIA. I don't know what's the FIU. They are here basically to meet the government. So we had a series of meetings, one with the president, the central bank governor. This morning they're going to have another meeting with the Minister of Finance. We had a meeting with the LACC team. We had different meetings at different levels. And the essence of the meeting was twofold. One is to talk about the mutual evaluation report, the deficiency that Liberia will have.
That was conducted 2 years ago.
Yes, and how serious the action we're supposed to take, to be able to curtail some of the issues. Okay, so we had a conversation at a higher level. So as a country, we have to take an action. The mutual evaluation report is not a report for the FIA. I keep saying to people, this is a nationwide report. It's a report for the entire country. There are different areas in the mutual evaluation report has been captured that's supposed to be taken care of by different ministries and agencies and different government branches that's supposed to take certain action, right? Our job as FI is to lead the process because we almost like in charge of the report,
the statutory body.
On the basics. So we have to lead the process to ensure that we have other entities to come on board to correct those mistakes. If we don't correct the mistakes and the next time they come back, it becomes an issue. If Liberia had a budget of 5 billion or above. But now Liberia is in a gray list. And the reason why you see that Liberia is not in a gray list is because we are below the pool, because we don't even have that kind of a budget. We don't even have that kind of an economy. So on the basis of that, there are a lot of effort that we need to make. So that was one of the conversations that they started to have with the government, and that's why they came. The second one is that we're going to have a very big initiative here in November. That's how to do plenary, where we're going to expect approximately around 250 international delegates from around the world will be in Liberia here to have the plenary. And that plenary will be basically from the 17th to the 23rd of November. And the president is a country as well initiative. So the president is going to be fully involved with that process to ensure that.
Mohamed Nasser is the Financial Intelligence Agency officer in charge there speaking. The Governance Commission, in collaboration with the Ministries of Internal Affairs, Finance and Development Planning, has ended a 2-day policy dialogue aimed at strengthening the coordination of the Monrovia City Corporation. The 2-day brainstorming gathering held under the theme Improving Monrovia City Administration through Effective Leadership, Proper Coordination, and Resource Mobilization also captured strategy on mobilizing resources and the adoption of several recommendations. The policy dialogue brought together representatives from the MCC, the Governance Commission, and the Ministry of Internal Affairs, among many others. Speaking at the program marking the end of the policy dialogue, Governance Commission, that's acting chairman, Professor Alaric Tupper, stressed the need for the authority to demarcate Monrovia and statutory mandates. Professor Tupper disclosed that participants have agreed that there is an urgent need to review the mandates of institutions that have similar mandates to the Monrovia City Corporation. The participants agreed on the importance of political and administrative reorganization of Monrovia City to align with other cities in international best practices. This is Professor Alaric Tupper.
That there is the urgent need for the political and administrative reorganization of Monrovia City, and that there is the need for leadership and stakeholder engagements on actionable steps regarding the way forward in that regard. Immediately, we need to reach concrete agreements and decisions on what is to be done. We need quick and concrete actions to improve Monrovia City and make it a better place, make it a safer place for future generations. Clearly, there are disturbing ambiguities and conflicting ideas about the demarcation of Monrovia, which require authoritative clarification. Undeniably, addressing the foundational challenges we face will require a review of the Constitution of Liberia and a review of the mandates and functions of institutions and agencies that have roles and responsibilities for managing affairs and providing services in Monrovia City. We need to reconcile the gaps, the overlaps, and conflicts between institutional mandates concerned with the administration of Monrovia. We need to reconcile the overlaps and conflicts between institutional mandates concerned with the administration of Monrovia. The city government of Monrovia needs to be reorganized, properly coordinated, and better monetized for the promotion of development. Lack of knowledge and misunderstanding is a national issue that can no longer be ignored. This means that public education and awareness now demands the reintroduction of the teaching of government and civics in the schools. Thus, the outcome of this dialogue will lead to stakeholder engagements for addressing these concerns.
Well, you just listened to Professor Larry Topal, Governance Commission Acting Chairman. If you just joined us, it is a reminder you're listening to a 45 minutes of news presentation about Liberia and other parts of the world, with just few kilometers away from the Liberia Revenue Authority. With that, we take this very short break to bring in the Passion of Last Post with Rolly James. We'll be right back.
Blackie, and welcome to K News Sports. Liberia's representatives in the CAF Women's Champions League qualifiers, the Tammy Girls, have been eliminated following their poor performance in the ongoing qualifiers in Senegal. The Tammy Girls failed to secure a win after 3 matches in the qualifiers. The club drew 1 and suffered 2 consecutive defeats, which ruled out their chances of qualification. The Liberia Women Football Champions elimination was confirmed on Thursday, August 15, after losing 1-0 to the host club, Echoes of the Medina of Senegal, a match many thought could be the revived hope for the Scotland determined girls. The Liberia side managed just 1 point from 3 matches, placing them at the bottom of the 5-team standings, which the group leaders Offa FC currently sits with 9 points in the first place. The Tammy Girls are left with just 1 game to end the qualifiers, but cannot overturn the 8-point gap behind the league leaders. Only the first place team in the 5-team standing will book qualification in the WAFU A qualifiers for the 2025 CAF Women's Champions League. The Tammy Girls head coach Robert Latte expressed great disappointment following his side elimination from the competition on Thursday in Senegal.
Sometimes you go to a tournament and the tournament is not in your favor. Sometimes you do everything you can. I will all watch the last game that we just played. We have all of the chances to score. We were very clinical in front of goal. Our players did not utilize the chances that came. And the only glaring chance that they had to put the ball at the back of the net. Sometimes football is this way. You're up today, tomorrow you're down. I'm not too happy because my team have not won. And I know other coach for that matter will not be happy with such a result in this tournament. We did not come to Senegal on sightseeing to see how beautiful Senegal is. We came to compete for what is at stake. But again, like I said, football is ups and downs. Sometimes the tournament is good for you, sometimes it's bad. The very coach won the tournament 2021 for the Tammy Girls in Monrovia when you were hosted there. So today you come back here, you didn't perform. It doesn't mean that you don't have a good team or you don't have a good player. I want to be very much appreciative to my players in today's game. They put up a very good fight. But again, luck worried on our side. So we have to succumb to defeat. It's disheartening, like you rightly stated, to play 3 green without scoring a single goal. It's disappointing on a more serious note. But in all of our training section, to end the section, we go through what we call finishing. From the wings, from the middle of the field, giving penetrated passes. Our striker do lateral runs. We saw all that. But again, the goal just couldn't come because our players were not clinical in finishing. So it bowed down to our defeat. To go back to the drawing board and go back home, we need to correct all of the mistakes that we see in our last 3 games that we played.
The voice of the Tammy Girls head coach Robert Latte. In basketball, Invincible 11 hopes of securing a playoff slot in this year's National Basketball First Division face another setback on Thursday after a heavy defeat to league leaders LPRSU Oilers. The Sunshine Yellowbirds were whipped 39 to 63 points by informed LPRSU Oilers at the SKD basketball court in Pinsville. The club has failed to grab a win in her last 2 league matches, losing earlier by 43 to 46 points to Sesto Mangas. Invincible 11, poor run this season, continue to pose a great threat to their playoff hopes. The club currently sits outside of the playoff zone in the Liberia Basketball Association First Division League standings. As usual, the top team, that's the top competing teams in the league standings, secure playoff slots to battle for the league championship. Sports pundits are predicting a possible dropout for Invincible 11 if the club fails to grab, that's double up and recover significant points in her remaining league games. The president of the Liberia Football Association, Mustafa Raji, has vowed to expand the annual District League tournament outside Montserrat County. The LFA president emphasized the crucial need to host the District League tournament in other parts of Liberia, stating that it helps in scouting players for the national county sports meet. Raji said the LFA is considering plans to begin the expansion of the off-season tournament with Grand Bassett and Bong counties. The Liberia Football Association District League is currently played in Montserrat County that brings together the 17 electoral districts to compete for a trophy. Mustafa Raji said expanding the tournament to other counties will support grassroots football development and create opportunities for uprising players to excel.
The game of football today, we have a responsibility to promote the game and promote it in a positive way. And we're looking at that positive impact we continue to make as the Football Association, creating jobs, creating chance for young boys and girls to play, creating an atmosphere where we can engage with our leaders, interact directly with our lawmakers, something that we saw the district represented 9, down of 13, everyone pouring at the two-side field, and want to see more of it. Now, it created also a platform and opportunity for those who be prepared for National County Sports Meet to identify talents to represent their counties. We do not want to limit this activity to Montserrat. Very soon we'll be starting up with the district leagues in Grand Bassett County, same one to do in Bong County. The intent is not only to just have a district league playing around, but we want to show to Liberians that we have talent in each and every one of the counties developing and playing football. And the county authorities now turn their focus on how they can identify and scout those talents to represent their county instead of importing players from other counties to represent them. They're going to showcase another breed of talent, another young kid who's way there in Bakuru County that will come out and have the opportunity to play better football for all of us.
That's the voice of LFA President Mustafa Raji. Liberia's football champions FC Fasel have departed the country for a month-long pre-season camp in Egypt. The club departed early Friday, August 15, via the Rabat International Airport with the first batch of players and technical staff. The move is in preparation to FC Fasel upcoming CAF Champions League qualifiers and the Liberia Football Association 2025-2026 season. The team is expected to return days before their first CAF Champions League qualifier match against Algerian side MC Alger at the SKD Sports Complex in September 2025. Now for international sports development, Barcelona are gearing up for their La Liga debut against Mallorca on Saturday night, but are unlikely to have Marc Bernat with them. The 18-year-old midfielder has spent the past year recovering from an ligament injury which he suffered at the start of last season. However, Marc Bernat will not be in action for Barcelona until at least September, reports say. Well, this is all we have from our sports desk, Odati.
Jordan James for amazingly handling the Passion of Life Sports. The Passion of Life Sports is a regular feature on this news time. And it's taking its weekend break to be back on Monday. Well, now with more local development, the president of the Press Union of Liberia, Julius Kanumba, has vowed to explore public-private partnerships for specialized reportorial training in the Liberian media. The PUL president held the recent capacity building training for over 30 journalists in specialized reporting on tax and revenue matters in collaboration with the Liberia Revenue Authority. Julius Kanumba said pushing for specialized training for media practitioners would make journalism more effective in Liberia. He disclosed that the PUL will forge more partnerships with private and public entities to ensure that journalists have in-depth understanding to report on different sectors. Kanumba at the same time expressed the PUL commitment to leveraging strategic opportunities for its members to build efficiency in the Liberian media space.
GB County was a partnership or a collaboration with the Liberia Revenue Authority. In fact, the LRA, through its communication, media and public affairs session, held similar training program, or piloted, so to speak, similar training program in the Western region. So on the basis of this piloting, they got to the PUL and to forge a partnership to train journalists in tax reporting. So yes, the LRA was very clear. They have a group of people, a group of radio stations, and this particular group has been helping the LRA in terms of reporting on taxes, whether favorable, unfavorable, or whether very strong or robust or very soft to the LRA. They said they had the names, and we call some of these journalists to have to participate in this, and the training program generated interest, generated attraction, and some of our colleagues are not too happy that they were not invited. But a training program for 30 persons and you have 1,527 membership, not everyone cannot attend, right? So yes, we will learn from what was conducted with the LRA to work with different government institutions so that our colleagues in the media can specialize in terms of reporting, because we want reporters or journalists who can be able to learn certain things and apply those things. It's not just attending a workshop for the sake of workshop, right? So media, and that's why I do tell our membership, specialize in one area. If you are a good talk show host, some people will get interest in your style of talk show, and then they can invite you. But when you're just sitting and waiting.
Well, with that development, we will now draw down curtains onto this presentation of key news. But just before we go, let's now bring you our international development, where Mali's military rulers say they have arrested a French national on suspicion of spying for his country in an attempt to destabilize the African nation. In a statement read on national television late Thursday, the junta alleged that Yen Vassilio was working on behalf of the French intelligence service. Mr. Vassilio is yet to comment on the accusation. His picture was also broadcast alongside those of the number of army generals arrested recently for allegedly planning to overthrow the military government in that part of the country. Well, many thanks to all of you who listened to this presentation. Many thanks to Roland James, who brought you the Passion of Life Sports. Sakandu sat and coordinated this presentation of key news on behalf of the entire team. I'm Odati Blackie of Pleasant, Cleveland, and bye-bye.